Maria drove through the darkened streets, her hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. The rhythmic hum of the engine was the only sound that echoed through the deserted neighborhood. The streetlights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows on the pavement. Maria's heart raced as she glanced nervously in her rearview mirror. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being followed. Earlier that evening, Maria had left a friend's house after a late dinner. As she navigated the winding roads, she noticed a car behind her, its headlights piercing through the darkness like two glowing eyes. At first, she dismissed it as a coincidence, just another driver going in the same direction. But as she turned onto smaller, less traveled streets, the car stayed right on her tail. A chill ran down Maria's spine, and she tried to rationalize her fear. Maybe it's just someone who lives nearby, she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible over the hum of the engine. Still, the feeling of unease lingered. Desperation clawed at Maria's chest as she considered her options. She didn't want to lead the mysterious car to her home, so she decided to take a series of random turns, hoping to lose her pursuer. The darkened streets became a labyrinth, and Maria felt like a trapped mouse, scurrying through the twists and turns. But no matter how many turns she took, the car persisted in its pursuit. As Maria's mind raced, she remembered a shortcut through a dense forest that would lead her to a more populated area. The narrow road was barely visible, and the overhanging branches created a tunnel of darkness. Fear gnawed at her, but she pressed on, hoping the forest would provide some cover. The mysterious car followed Maria into the ominous woods, its headlights casting long, sinister shadows among the trees. Panic set in as Maria's imagination played tricks on her, conjuring images of lurking figures in the shadows. The engine's hum now seemed like a sinister whisper, echoing through the desolate forest. Maria's breath caught in her throat when she noticed the car behind her was closing in. She pressed harder on the gas pedal, the engine protesting as she pushed it to its limit. The forest became a blur of indistinguishable shapes, and Maria's pulse throbbed in her temples. Just when Maria thought she couldn't take it any longer, the forest gave way to the outskirts of a small town. Streetlights bathed the road in a warm glow, and the comforting hum of civilization enveloped her. Relieved, Maria glanced in the rearview mirror to find that the mysterious car had vanished. She drove through the town, her hands still shaking, until she reached the brightly lit parking lot of a 24-hour convenience store. Maria parked, her breath shaky and uneven. She waited, her eyes fixed on the road, half expecting the mysterious car to reappear. Minutes turned to hours, and no sign of the ominous car materialized. Finally convinced she was safe, Maria let out a shaky breath and dialed the police. She recounted the harrowing experience, and they assured her they would patrol the area. Trembling, Maria sat in her car, grateful for the safety of the convenience store's lights. As she drove home, the events of the night replayed in her mind. Maria couldn't shake the feeling that she had narrowly escaped something sinister, a presence in the darkness that had followed her with malicious intent. The shadows outside her car seemed to dance with an otherworldly malevolence, and the hum of the engine now carried a haunting echo of the pursuit she had barely escaped.